Okay, so we're finally at the end of the review. So we have 4x squared minus 9x, and we're going to solve each of these by whatever method we choose. So if I subtract over the 9x, then I see that I can take out a greatest common factor of x, and if I do, I'll be left with 4x minus 9. And then since I'm solving, I need to set each of these factors equal to 0 and solve for x. So this one's already done. This one I need to add 9 to both sides and divide by 4. So there's my other solution. For b, let's get everything on one side of the equal sign to see what this looks like. So I have negative x squared. If I add x to both sides and then subtract 2. And then if I want to get rid of this negative, I can just divide everything by negative 1. So if I stop and consider, does this factor in any nice way? Can I think of factors that multiply to 2 but add to negative 8? And no, I can't. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. When in doubt, just go with the quadratic formula. So I have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So I'll get x equals 8 plus or minus the square root of 56 all over 2. The square root of 56 can be simplified to the square root, 2 square roots of 14. And then I can reduce to get x equals 8 divided by 2 is 4, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so there's my answer, 4 plus or minus the square root of 14. Now for part C, first thing I always like to look for is the greatest common factor. So if I take out the negative 3, I'll be left with x squared plus 20. Then if I divide both sides by negative 3, I'll get x squared plus 20 equals 0. So I'm really close to having something I can use the square root property on, so I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and then I'm going to take the square root. So I get x equals plus or minus. Because there's a negative in that square root, I'm going to pull it out as an I in the front. And then I think, can I simplify the square root of 20 anymore? Yes, I can, because I have a perfect square of 4 as one of my factors. So I have plus or minus. So the square root of 4 is 2, so I'll have 2i square root of 5. Okay, now for part D. So it looks like if I move over the 12, are there factors of positive 12 that add to 7? Yes, there are. It's positive 4 and positive 3. So that factored really easily. I'll set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. So I get x equals negative 4. And then for the other one, I'll take x plus 3, set it equal to 0, and so I'll get x equals negative 3. Alright, and then part E, we have 5x squared minus 3x equals 2x squared plus x minus 8. So I'm going to move everything to one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 2x squared over, so I have 3x squared. And then I'm going to subtract the x over, so I have minus 4x. And then I add 8 to both sides. Okay? Let's use the quadratic formula. So we have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So that is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 80. So if I look at the square root of negative 80, I want to take out that negative sign as I. So I'll have 4 plus or minus I. And then the square root of 80 can be simplified to 4 square roots of 5. So I have all over 6. And then finally we'll have x equals 4 over 6 can be reduced to 2 plus or minus 4 can be reduced to 2i. So we're reducing every single thing by 2. We divided everything by 2. And that's our final answer. That's it. Hope these examples helped. Good luck on your test, and I will see you later. Bye.